Oh boy, everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope that you are having a wonderful day out there, a beautiful one, because it's always a beautiful day. Sometimes it may not feel like it, but there's something beautiful you can find if you look hard enough. And sometimes you don't have to look hard enough. Sometimes it's just right there in front of you. Today, we're going to listen to Scott Matthews. We're going to listen to the track 12 Harps. This is off of the album Elsewhere, which was released in 2009. We're listening to this track because it was recommended and sponsored by Sheldon. So Sheldon, thank you so much for the support and, of course, for the suggestion. Now, I don't know, but assuming that there's either 12 harps or something like that in the track, I think that's going to be very, very interesting. Like I said, I don't know if there's actually going to be, or if this maybe is just a story thing. Because the harp is just an incredibly lovely instrument. There was one time many years ago, I was performing at a small event, and there was a harp player, and she had played harp with like a lot of big R&B and hip hop artists and such, like very big ones that everybody would know. I don't remember them, but she performed there, and it was just really lovely to listen to. Like, she was like incredible, obviously, but yeah. So I'm curious to hear this one. Let's go ahead and dive into it. This one also features a special guest, who you'll see his name pop up soon. Let's go ahead and listen to it. We'll talk about it after. Here we go. Nice harmonics.
His clothes hang tight on his lonely old frame. They protect his bones like the folds of a bat's wing cape. He talks to the wind, his breath spelling something she draws near. But the words hit the floor, and the one he adored never hears. There's 12 harps playing, and time breaks the waves she never hears.
I like how their voices faded into that wind.
Faceless among all the tears that reflect from her stone. As the crowd turns away, he's left there to grieve on his own, leaving his heart on a harp that he placed on her grave. Here lies she could never be saved.
It's a good line.
As 12 harps play, and time breaks the waves, faintly she
I love the intimate way the guitar is played here.
You were the Jew that I fell to an earth while I breathed, deaf to the chimes and blind to your eyes, guiding me, secretly watching. You gave me your hand, I was safe in your care. I could have danced in the ball of your eyes if I'd known you were there. There's 12 harps playing, and time carries their waves all through the years. At last she can hear now, clouds full of
Chord change.
banish those memories. It's all they're left.
theremin in there. That was such a feel-good track. The music was incredibly mystifying. Listening to the playing there, it just felt incredibly mystifying. Now, the song is entitled 12 Harps. I'm looking at the personnel list, and not on this album is... Oh, I'm lying. I'm so lying. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I was about to say there was no harp. It was him playing guitar and mimicking a harp, which I was going to say sounded incredible. But I'm so dumb because... It's right there, guys. I just... Okay. Ignore what I was about to say. Clearly, there's harp being played. And the way that Scott Matthews plays it is, to me, perfection. It is so intimately satisfying, melodically joyful to listen to. There's a moment in there about halfway through where the chord changes and there's a tension that's being brewed and bought right there. And then the repeated melodies right after, the way he picks it. Of course, I'm kind of not doing it right, but that little run that he does right afterwards, it's just a really cool transition off of that tension to build it back into something kind of beautiful and ethereal. You also had some theremin that featured in here from Gavin Monaghan playing the theremin, and it was just so cool. Like there's this subtle tone underneath everything that just kind of fills the track with this glow that's more implied rather than directed and said. And I really loved how that performed there. Now, you're asking me, like, who was this special guest I was mentioning? On this track, you may have seen it when I pulled up the personnel, but you're going to have Robert Plant as well singing in this track. And I love how you can hear the age and the maturity in Plant's voice. Of course, far and away from the heyday of Led Zeppelin and like everything. No, this is, in this particular case, a more mature, a wonderfully aged, and kind of more, I don't want to say wiser necessarily, because that implies no smarts previously, but it sounds like a voice of wisdom, the way that he performs in this particular track, in this, like I said, very ethereal kind of acoustic folky kind of set here. And I think it comes across incredibly well. Scott Matthews is also singing here, and they both harmonize in certain moments, and their voices both together sound to me aged and wise, and I like how they fly this particular plane together, if you will. But a wonderful, wonderful track. And I see here that Scott Matthews also plays guitar, bass, ebo guitar, mandolin, the auto harp, of course, as we heard, Hammond organ. Like, he's a multi-instrumentalist, and I love the way he played here. We'll go over the lyrics, but if you don't mind, I just want to see if I can find a live performance of this, more because I just want to see the way that he picks on the harp. Not necessarily to watch a whole live performance or anything. I just want to. I'm genuinely curious to see how he does it. I'm just looking for live footage. I don't know if this is live footage or not. Let me see if it is. It may be, or it may just be a picture with video. It's super grainy, and it's guitar. It's super grainy. It's guitar. This isn't what I was looking for. But that sounds awesome. He still sounds really, really awesome. I just don't know if I can find. He's joined by someone else. Scott Matthews, City Headache. I was just trying to see if I could find him playing the auto harp live, because I just wanted to see how he would do that in that particular case. But I'm not seeing anything with the harp necessarily. I found footage. really, really fantastic singing. I love his voice there. Let me go ahead and pull up the lyrics. I could have kept it on the screen. His clothes hang tired on his lonely, awkward frame. They protect his bones like the folds of a bat's wing cape. He talks to the wind. Little King Crimson. He talks to the wind, his breath spelling something. She draws near, but the words hit the floor. And the one he adored never hears. As 12 harps play and time breaks the waves, she never hears. So, of course, this person, perhaps they're old, perhaps they're lonely. Something's going on. He has an awkward frame. His clothes are just hanging off of him. And as she's drawing near, he's trying to say something to her, but she never hears those words he says. Faceless among all the tears that reflect from her stone. Okay, so she's dead. Okay. It's her gravestone, I'm assuming. As the crowd turns away, he is left there to grieve on his own, leaving his heart on a harp, there you go, that he placed on her grave. He relied on the wind, but he knew she could never be saved. As 12 harps play and time breaks the wave, faintly she hears, "You were the jewel that I failed to unearth while I breathed." These are really beautiful, kind of hard-hitting, huh? Deaf to the chimes and blind to your eyes guiding me. Secretly watching you gave me your hand. I was safe in your care. I could have danced in the ball of your eyes if I'd known you were there. These are sad lyrics. These are really, really well written, though. As 12 harps play, of course, at this funeral, and time carries their waves, all through the years, at last she can hear now. Clouds full of melodies banish those memories. It's all they'll ever need. They'll whisper through empty streets and wild weather vanes in the wind and in the rain. Okay. Sometimes when things sometimes can seem simple, I may lose my story. She's dead. Reflect on her stone. He's crying, he's grieving. It's at a funeral. The funeral, or the memorial is taking place, the burial, probably near the beach, hence the waves. And she never hears the song. She never hears the chimes, the 12 harps, obviously, right? But at the same time, it says faintly she hears, almost as if she still hears in some capacity, like an afterlife kind of thing, like the ghost of her. Those words do reach her. The music does reach her. Although faintly, it gets there. And what does she hear? She hears the things that he's saying. He's saying, "You were the jewel that I failed to unearth while I breathed." Well, secretly watching you gave me your hand. I was safe in your care. I could have danced in the ball of your eyes if I'd known you were there. I think so. I think he's just grieving and saying, like, if you were here, I was safe with you. If you were here right now, we could dance, in the ball of your eyes. But it says that time carries their waves, the waves of her, like the kind of a butterfly effect. Something happens, and of course it ripples through time and through other people. So her dying, of course, affects everybody. His crying affects everybody. These waves are sent out. So I think that's what it is. Their waves, cause and effect. All through the years, at last she can hear now. And now she can hear in a sense. It's all they'll ever need. They'll both whisper through empty streets. So it's like they're both still connected. Or maybe at the end, both of them died. I don't know. I think that's really beautiful, though. I love the song. I love the emotion that comes through gorgeously in this track. This was really nice. And I'm surprised. I don't know. I'm just surprised looking at the rating from who are these people? Music OMH, never heard of you. 3 out of 5. Sputnik Music, 3 out of 5. I don't know. I can't speak, of course, for the whole album, but this was not a 3 out of 5. Let me know what you guys thought of it, of course, in the comments down below, Sheldon. I really appreciate the suggestion and the sponsorship. I thought this was a lovely listen. Hope you guys enjoyed the music. Please come back down tomorrow, and I hope to see you all then. Bye.